What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It has been a very long time since I made a video, and I do have a couple of excuses, and they are: one, it was the holy month of Ramadan, and if you don't know what that is, then lucky you. And the second reason is I've just been sick on and off for the last 3 months. Honestly, I'm not getting better. I do get a little better, and then I just get worse, and then I get. But anyway, if you want to see more videos and you happen to have a nice car in Dubai and you don't mind us reviewing it, comment down below or DM us on Instagram. I'll leave a link down below in the thing that you can check description to our Instagram, and you can DM us. Now that that is out of the way, let's talk about someone I want you guys to meet, and that someone is not really a good friend of mine right now because we had a bit of an issue, and that person is my radiator pipe that decided to quit its job on me, quite literally. Just, and I mean it as I say it. It just quit its, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it did quit its job on me in Ramadan at 6:20 p.m. and I was stranded on the highway for a good couple of hours. If you are watching this video, then you probably like the EcoBoost Mustang, or you have one, or you're looking to get one. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about its reliability. I've owned this car since 2018. Sometimes it's 6 years, sometimes it's 5 years. I don't know how long I've owned it for, but I've owned it for a very long time. And just to let you know from now, this car has 106,000 kilometers on it, which adds up to around 65,000 miles. Now, 65,000 miles in America or in other countries that use the miles be all that much, but where I live, 65,000 miles is the most you'll ever get out of a car. And this car, thankfully, still drives, even though my radiator pipe had other plans. But we got rid of that and we put a new one in, and thankfully the car has been driving fine. And I say that because it gets really hot over here. And when I say hot, I mean it gets really hot, like we 47 degrees and 48 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but we shall find out. Siri, what is 47 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
47 degrees Celsius is 116.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
116 Fahrenheit, which is, I'm assuming, is a lot, because I do happen to live in Florida, and when it's 95, people tend to get crazy. So 116 is a step hotter, right? But anyways, today's video is the EcoBoost Mustang reliable. I'm gonna talk to you guys about that, okay? I'm gonna make your life easy. I'm gonna tell you every single issue that I faced and how I fixed it and what needed to be done and all these things and what other people are complaining about, because there are a lot of things that people used to complain about before I bought the car that I've never really faced so far. So I think it all depends on what you do with your car. The first issue I have ever faced with this car was an oil leak, and that was because the gasket was giving up. And then we changed the gasket, and then the same issue happened again. So then, like a smart little boy, I went on and I changed it again. And just to let you know, both the gaskets I changed were aftermarket. They weren't original, because there was a price difference, and I thought I'm being smart by saving some money. And I was wrong. I went out for the third time and I had to buy an original gasket and engine cover. So the top of the engine as well had to be changed because it was drowned in oil and it was destroyed. I replaced these two original. I honestly can't remember how much I paid, but just to let you know, if I fixed it, then any human being on earth can fix it, because it couldn't be this expensive, right? So if I could afford it, 100% you can afford it. This car is in love with original parts. If you think you're gonna be smart and go out and buy an aftermarket anything, it's gonna stop working very, very soon. Aftermarket is cheaper for a reason that you'll find out if you happen to install aftermarket parts into your car. And I don't say aftermarket as in, you know, you're making the car perform better, or you're doing, no, I just mean, you know, if you had some little thing break, you better go back to the dealership and get it from there. Getting over the gasket issue, it took a few weeks to just stop this problem, because this is my only car, and it's my weekend car, and it is my daily car, and it is my everything car. So, because, you know, my dad has a couple of cars, but he really loves his cars, and it's always a headache to take his cars. So that is why I need my car in perfect working form all the time. And yeah, I drive this car every single day. When I say every single day, I mean every single day. We got over the gasket issue, and shortly after that, my AC started breaking. And this was 5 years ago, and I was extremely scared because I was the one who found the car. I was the one trying to convince my dad to come get it. So I started to think that the whole Mustang platform is just not that good. So we got over the gasket issue. There was nothing wrong for the next around 6 to 7 months. The car was perfect. Parking it in the sun, I had no issues at all. But then eventually, I was driving with my girlfriend, who's the cameraman, and then my AC died. Now, thankfully, I have a nice girlfriend who was with me from before the Mustang days. She was with me when I had a Kia Picanto. So, you know, I'm pretty sure a Mustang with no working AC wasn't a big deal for her. But it was extremely hot, and it happened to be the midst of the summer. So it was unbearable. You can't drive with windows down, but you can drive with them up. So I had to go fix the car. I took the car to the nearest, you know, gas station. Gas stations here have garages, and then they have some mechanics that can, you know, kind of fix little things for you. And the guy said the car needs AC gas, and I was like, AC gas? That sounds expensive. And he was like, no, it's cheap. So I did all of that, and they put AC gas into the car, and then the AC was working fine. Fast forward maybe another 3-4 months, the same exact issue again. So I thought to myself, you know what? If every 4 to 5 months I'm gonna have to spend, you know, 100 dirhams, which is maybe $25 to $30, I'm okay with that. So I put AC gas into the car, and the car started working fine. And then a few months later, the same thing happened again. And then we took it to a garage who said, yeah, we need to take the whole entire interior out, and then we need to change something in there that's gonna cost a little over $1,000. And that for me was obviously a big no, because I don't have over $1,000. I never did, and I don't as of right now. So that sounded terrifying, and I thought to myself, you know what, I think I should sell this car. And back in the days, this for me was all that a supercar is. I didn't see any other car. I didn't think of any other car as a supercar. I saw Ferraris and I saw these things and I was like, that's disgusting. I still love this car, and I still think that this car is a driving experience that I haven't experienced in anything that we've ever filmed with. Now, if you've been part of the channel for a long time, you'd know that I have filmed all kinds of cars. We've reviewed R8s, we've reviewed M8 competitions, we've even reviewed Ferraris, we've reviewed everything. But this car, to me, it's a bit like a Miata or a Lotus Evora. It's the perfect weight and the perfect power for the weight. I would say a little bit more power would be fine. Like it's like 410, 420 horsepower would be perfect for this car. But who am I to say what needs what? But anyways, the guy told me that we put AC gas in again, and the car started working fine. But shortly after that, I had a transmission issue. Now, again, if you've been subscribed long enough to the channel, you'd know that at some point I put out a video and I was almost crying in that video because my car was cutting up and it was doing a lot of weird things. And by that I mean the car was going into what I found out is called limp mode. The car was not going over 3,000 RPM, not even 3,000. It wasn't even going over 2,000 RPM, which was an absolute hassle for me. And I kept getting a wrench sign and the car wouldn't drive, and then I would lose like 90% of the power, and it was just such a tough time because I took it to 1,000 different garages and none of them ever knew what was wrong with the car. Every time I would go and I would pay a lot, and then the car would just not get fixed. They would say the car needs 15,000 dirhams in parts. I had to save up for AC gas, okay? I'm joking, my dad paid. My dad pays for everything this car needs, so I'm fine. But yeah, it was extremely annoying, and I thought this is the end. You know, the car has 80,000 kilometers. It's time to sell it. I was like, the car's destroyed. They're gonna tell me I need a whole new transmission. I went to 5-6 garages. They all said different things and they all wanted different money. So I thought something is wrong, and for the first time in our life, we took the car to Ford. And at Ford, they fixed the car very cheaply and very quickly. Okay, something that all these garages lacked. And this all adds to my point. Take your car to the dealership. You might be one of those smart guys, oh, you know, the dealership is going to cost a lot more money. Well, no, it's not. Because these other guys are not going to be able to fix your car. They're going to be going to multiple people, spending a lot of money in a lot of different places. While the dealership, they will find out what's wrong with your car. They will find out what is the issue, and they will fix it. So yeah, the dealership fixed the transmission issue. I can't really say if it was so expensive or not, but I don't think it was, because my dad didn't give me a lot of issues for it. Because if it's not expensive, he's not going to give me issues. If it's an expensive fix, I will be getting a talk from him. It turns out it wasn't my fault, and it was just something that happens. It is inevitable. Not everybody gets to experience it, but I drive this car extremely hard all of the time. I'm always stepping on it. No, I don't put it in Sport and Sport Plus all of the time. To be honest, 90% of the time the car is just in drive, and for me it does what I need it to do. Nonetheless, this car is driven like it's a GT3 RS. So if you're going to be taking care of your car is never going to break down. But nobody buys a car like this to take care of it. I mean, when I say take care of it, I'm talking about your driving style, okay? You don't have to abuse it 24/7, but if you do, you will face some issues, but they're nothing major, okay? And even if they are, this car, in the end of the day, is not that expensive, so I can't imagine it's gonna need $100,000 to fix something. So after we fixed the transmission, thankfully, ever since, I haven't had any issues with the transmission or the car whatsoever, but I did have issues with the AC again. And spoiler alert, I had an AC issue again after that, and then I had another AC issue after that, which was a week ago. Okay, so filled it up again with AC gas the first time. The second time after that, we took it to the dealership and we changed the AC compressor. And unfortunately, that was extremely expensive. That was 5,000 dirhams, because for some reason we paid for the compressor with the transmission fixing. So it was a total of 5,000 dirhams, and I'm not sure which was recently. The AC compressor broke. Again, to be quite fair, I don't know if they did change the AC compressor or they changed something inside, because I was in America at that time and my dad was the one fixing it. And my dad does his absolute best to make me feel like everything's my fault, which is true half the time. I mean, he's not wrong. But anyways, he shouldn't be blaming me. We recently changed the AC compressor and I think it's aftermarket, so I'm praying that it doesn't break down. It might break down, it might not break down, I don't know. And the last issue I had was also the windshield. I had a huge crack in my windshield. If I have a picture, I'll put it up for you guys. One day I get in my car and I just look out at my windshield and I had a whole crack coming all the way from up to all the way down. I don't know if that was because of the heat or that was because someone did something to it. I really doubt anybody did anything to it, but we did get an aftermarket windshield that is from a Swedish company that has lifetime warranty. Is the EcoBoost Mustang reliable? For the first 4 years and what it had to stand with me, because I was still learning how to drive, I was still, you know, a little teenage who was all over the place. I was going everywhere, I was trying to impress everybody, and I was just always doing the absolute most with this car. It was reliable and it worked fine and it was good. Would I say it's an unreliable car now? No, I feel like that's a bit of a harsh statement. So no, it is between reliable and unreliable, but definitely more on the reliable side. If you want to buy an EcoBoost Mustang and you're afraid because of the reliability, because some people come on YouTube and say it's called the EcoBoost because it blows up, because they're so smart and they go out and tune the hell out of the car, trying to make it faster than a GT. I mean, sure, look, anything is tunable, right? You can tune your car. Oh, my Mustang is stage. I mean, you can do whatever you want to your car. But when your car does whatever it wants to you, don't cry, because the car didn't sign up for you to be an idiot, and you didn't sign up for the car to be an idiot, but you guys are getting what you both are. I don't mean to call you an idiot, but just leave your car as it is. If you want a fast car, save up more money and buy the GT. That's all I can tell you. A lot of people buy the EcoBoost and try to make it faster than the GT, and oftentimes, or actually most of the time, they end up dumping more money into the EcoBoost Mustang than what a stock GT costs. But in the end of the day, it is your car and it is absolutely your decision to make. I never touched my car in that sense. Have I ever thought about tuning the car? Absolutely. But the financials were never on my side. If I had enough money to tune the car, I would have 100% tuned it and I would have done a lot to it. But I just, you know, I didn't tune the car not because I'm a smart guy who knows what he's doing. No, it was just more about I couldn't afford it. So I would have tuned the car. And right now, I wouldn't be talking to you from the inside of this car. I guarantee you this, because it would have been destroyed and scrapped a long time ago. So no, it's not the EcoBoost, and no, the turbos don't blow up, and no, the engine doesn't blow up, and no, nothing blows up and nothing falls out of place. It's a good car. It's a great car. And as a first car, I don't think I could have gotten anything that's better. And yes, this was kind of my first car. Before that, for a few months, I would say I was running on rentals until my dad decided to buy me a car. I was running on Picantos and just a bunch of other horrible, menacing stuff that no father does to their child. Before you say a car is a car, no, a car is not a car. A Kia Picanto is definitely far from a car, okay? It's not what a car looks like. It's not what a car drives like. But anyways, this car has been great. As I told you guys earlier, I love this car. There has been some minor issues. Oh, I forgot about my best friend here. But I kind of told the story already, okay? Age, the car is 8 years old, and it gets really hot in here. So I don't blame, you know, a pipe for blowing up in the end of the day. Rubber, or whatever it is. Well, it is rubber. So it is just rubber, and it is what it is. So hopefully this one doesn't combust on me in the next few days, because I will be leaving Dubai back to America in the next few days, and I hate that with every single piece of me. This is not therapy, unfortunately. If the FAA is watching this is a joke. So, do you want to buy an EcoBoost Mustang and you're afraid that it's unreliable? Well, don't be afraid, just do it. So yeah, this is my story with the EcoBoost Mustang. I'm almost 22 years old. I got this car as I've just barely turned 18 years old. I was barely 18. And this was my first car, and I'm almost 22. So I feel like I'm just ready to move on forward with my life. The Advil I took is kicking in. So I'm gonna leave you guys to it. And it's been a very, very long video. I hope you made it to the end of the video. If you have, you are a great person. Thank you for making it till here. I don't usually make it to the end of the video. I stop watching halfway through. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. And if you happen to have a nice car and you don't mind us reviewing it, comment down below or get in touch with us on Instagram. I'll leave a link down below. DM us, and then we'll DM you back, and then we'll make a plan and we'll film your nice car. Oh, would it be so beautiful? But for the time being, a very late Eid Mubarak to all of us who were celebrating it. And if you weren't celebrating it, then I guess not happy Eid Mubarak to you. And have a nice day. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of editing now. because I talk so freaking much. I'll see you guys next video.